Hello everyone. I made a couple videos today. I haven't got to post yet. I'll be posting them. I don't know which one's going to come out first. Just a little about myself and my journey and what I see, I guess. But I want to share. You know, you just don't know where to begin. You don't know what to say. And you know, there's so many minds. How will they take it, anything that you put out, or, the experiences. I want to start. And I've told this before, but I wasn't really ready to speak it. But now, after, this was at the beginning, like 3 years ago, when the revelations first began. There's no putting out how much is just, the experience. So all you can do is put forth what you've seen, heard, come to know. But I'm starting to understand what this experience was in part. Although I don't understand some things about it. And I'm sharing this because maybe others might understand. Those whose minds aren't closed, those whose minds and hearts are open to understanding. What we've seen. I have seen things that unless you've experienced, you won't. You won't know whether what I'm speaking is true. But those who have experienced will. See, I haven't experienced some things that I haven't experienced because of my experiences. I just saw something that someone else has said. I haven't experienced exactly like that. But through my own, I know I've seen, outside the box. I've seen things that are not explainable. So, I want to go back to 3 years ago. And I guess just little understandings had been given here and there. And it took maybe a couple weeks, really, before I really realized that, I didn't know God or what was communicating with me. How I was receiving. Is this really that moment that I've waited for my whole life? And like I said, I've never written anything down. Not too much to scratch here or there. But it was just all filled up in me. Everything that I've experienced and heard and went through, and it's all in me now. And, but on this night, and I'm telling now because I know there's others who might be able to understand and help me with this and the things I don't know and don't understand. And I believe that I've come to find at least 2 of these people who was with me that day when I had this experience. And I believe it was an experience. I believe it wasn't, unless it's just something that, the mind can really seem to be so real. Even that when I felt the air outside, I felt it. When I walked outside, I felt it. So let's tell it again. I hadn't had the understanding that's been given to me now. But me and my dog had went to sleep. This is when we had our store in New Middletown. That's where all of my revelation began. And I hadn't been praying and stuff then. For years I had just, I always pray when, I commune as much as my faith could allow, but, my faith has been locked in me for a long time. Where, I was unsure about everything, but still holding on to that good word. So at this point, I was really under a lot. I had 2 stores. Actually, it was 3 houses that I was taking care of every week. I had a store here in Indy, 2 houses, and then my store in southern Indiana that we had got, and I ended up letting it go because it was just all too much for me. But I had a store there which had a house on top. It was an old house that was converted into a gas station, little town market. But on this night, this is after a couple weeks after things had, understanding was given to me, began to be given to me. I'm laying in bed, and I always slept only 3 and 4 hours a night, sometimes less because I ran the store by myself. I was, I worked constantly. So I'd only, and sometimes I'd take a nap through the day. I had a very regular schedule. But usually I would sleep 3-4 hours at night and always get up at 4 every morning. Before the alarm would go off, my mind was programmed to wake up. But this night me and my dog had went to bed, and I had just looked. We was in the back of the store. That was the living room and the kitchen in this house. But I had converted the living room into my bedroom. The kids were all upstairs because my kids was there helping me with the store. But I had just went to bed, and me and my dog, we would always, where we went to sleep, that position was how we would wake up the next morning, because we never slept long enough to really stir in the night. So I went to bed, my dog next to me, I'm facing the wall. The door's kind of catty corner from me to the back door going outside. And as I laid down with my dog in between me and the wall, I had looked at the clock, and I had 4 hours till I had to get up. It was midnight, and I had to get up at 4 in the morning. So I thought, I got 4 hours, I can sleep. So I laid there, went to sleep. Don't know how long I laid there, until I heard, opened my eyes here. I had heard like a humming. It was like a humming, and it seemed to be coming from outside. So I'm laying there, just listening to this humming, and I thought, what is that? And I thought, is it the fan? Because I thought sometimes I would blow my fan, this big, real powerful fan that I had, that because the upstairs didn't have air conditioning, central air, and I would blow it up there to the kids. So I'd, aim this fan up the stairs, and I thought maybe it's the fan leaning against the door. And so I listened to the fan, and I hear the fan distinctly, and I hear this sound coming from outside distinctly. And so, I'm laying there listening, hear the fan, hearing this, and I'm thinking, no, that's coming from out. And there was a moment I knew something was coming for me. And I don't know, I like to say it like that because I just knew that something was there with me, and I was going to be visited. And so I'm laying there, and I don't know when that moment, a brief moment of fear, I don't know if it was before I heard the voice or if it was just when I knew that something was going to visit me. So, and I don't understand what I was taken to. I don't understand that, and that is why I want to get feedback from a very few out there who I think could possibly give me the feedback. Through your experience, you might have some understanding that I don't yet have. But, so, I was laying there listening, and then I heard the voice and how it announced to me. Because, it's all, my back is to the living room. My back is, I'm facing the wall. And then I hear a voice that says, just like this, you have aliens. Just like that. That's how you have aliens. It wasn't visitors. It was you have aliens. I think that might be the moment that I just got that fear for a minute, but then it quickly went away. I knew I had to turn around to see who was with me. As I turned around from the wall, as I put my feet to the floor, I see that my back door is standing wide open. I think there was light coming through the door, but I don't know if I'm just adding that, but it seems like I could see light coming from the outside. And then I can't recall who, but I know there was one smaller person. I'm not saying like little alien. I'm saying there was one shorter being or person standing by the door, but I can't recall the appearance of this person, only that it was a shorter person. And like, you know, just a shorter, normal, nothing super short, just a normal, short person. And so, you know, as I turned around, I saw the door, saw the person standing there at the open door. And then as I turned around, that was to my left. And the door's catty corner for me. And then I look up to my right, and there stands a being. And I'm not a good judge of height, but this was you know, because when I looked right up, and I'm sitting on the side of the bed, and just extraordinarily high, tall person. And although I looked this being in his face, eye to eye, I can't remember his eyes. I can remember that the beauty of this being. That even though he was different, he had a beauty to him. He had a majesty to him. And I didn't look long because I just looked up at him. And I know there was more that went through our mind, like speaking. But like after it was all over, I was forgetting things as I was trying to write it down. This is one thing I did try to write down. But as I was writing when it was all over, I was forgetting things. It was going for me. But so anyway, I see him. And then I know I have to go. And so I get up off the bed and I start walking to the door. And somehow my dog got my attention. And I remember saying, you know, he's a good dog. And I was asking if he could go with me. And my dog was allowed to go with me. And I think my dog walked out. I don't think I picked him up. I can't remember if I picked him up or if he just walked out with me. But when I get to the door, my dog's allowed to go with me. I get to the door, and outside my back door, there is a ship parked right outside my back door. Its door with the ramp down, facing right outside my door. So I walked right straight down my steps, through the yard a couple steps, and straight up into the ship. And when I get in there, I keep on turning my air off and on. I'm actually at Walmart waiting for my prescription right now. But when I walk in, it wasn't what you would think a spaceship would look like. Directly when I walk in, there's this couch, and either the couch was red or green, or the countertop was red or green. Those are two colors I remember, other than some cups later. Is it one or the other? Either the couch was red or green, or the countertop was red or green. But anyway, there's a lady sitting on the sofa. Normal lady, wearing normal clothes, just like myself. You know, jeans, shirt. She had long blonde hair pulled back in a ponytail. I haven't identified this one yet, I don't think. I'm not sure, but there's two that I believe I have come to recognize now. But, you know, this was 3 years ago. And, but, so she's on the couch. As soon as we walk in, she acts normal. We talk like we're normal, although I can't remember everything that we said. But as soon as we walked in, she's like, oh, is that a dachshund? And blah, 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 just like anyone else. Just like when I meet people with my dog. You know, they always want to talk to my dog and pet my dog. So, you know, she starts talking about my dog, and my dog jumps up on the couch with her, and she's petting him and talking to him. And then we're talking a little bit. I don't remember why. I sit down next to her on the couch. I'm looking around, you know, talking to her a little bit. And then I get up to walk over to this counter that's all around, at least one wall and another, you know, and I can't remember if it's a round room or if it's square, but so I get up to walk over the counter, and on the counter there's all these things, and I don't even know if I can find that journal, if I wrote anything down that I had seen on it, because like I said, I was forgetting things as I was writing. But there was like, I remember books, I remember like as a pile of screws, pencils, different things just laying in piles all over the counter. And one in the top left corner of this counter where I was standing, there was etches scratched in the top of the counter. And I can't remember what the markings was, but there was some kind of etches in the top corner of the counter. That might have something to do with it. And so as I'm looking, I hear a voice over, like, right where the counter would been, where it went this way and like in an L shape, I guess. And I hear, when I'm looking at all of them, wondering what all this stuff is, I hear a woman's voice. She says, "These things are here for us." And when she said, "These things are here for us," I thought, what, am I supposed to remember them? So I started looking more closely, trying to remember what I'm seeing. And I thought, am I going to be tested on it? Do I have to remember, or am I going to be tested? That's what I remember. And so, and I saw the back of that woman. I assumed, because I didn't see her when she said it, but then when I looked up, when I heard her voice, I saw a woman, and I believe her hair was kind of reddish brownish. And, you know, I believe I've identified that one, perhaps. I think so. But I only saw her from the back that I recall. And so after I'm, you know, looking and thinking, next thing I know, somehow our attention's drawn back over to where the door once was. I don't know if the door's there anymore. And I no longer see the sofa when I turn around either. And I no longer, and I don't even know if these women in the room was gathered around with me. But so I turn around. All I know is what? I turn around to where the door once was. I'm no longer, if this couch was there, I no longer see it. I'm not paying attention. I see a table here now. And coming across from the other side, there's a woman walking in, carrying 2 cups, blue cups in her hand. And I remember 2 blue cups, you know, one hand I'm holding my other hand, my left hand I'm holding up the thing, but she had a cup in each hand, and she presented it to me on the table. And at this point, I don't know. Like I said, I don't know if the other women was gathered around me looking at what's happening, or if it was just me. I don't recall any of the others there at this point. You know, I'm just watching what's being presented to me. And and I believe the one that presented it to me, as I believe I've recognized, I've come to know who she is now. And there was so much shown each time, and like, I know like pictures was shown to my mind, but I could not remember what was shown to me. But each time she would take her finger, I'm standing at the opposite end of the table. She presented the cups. I no longer see the cups. I just saw them when she walked in. Then as she presented whatever on the table, I'm on the opposite, and she takes her finger, and she says, she points down to the table, "Is this God?" And I said, "No." And she says, "Is this God?" I said, "No." Then she said, "Is this God?" And I said, "No." Like one time it was like clearly no, that's not God. And then this one, and the next time was like, I don't think so. And the next time is like, definitely not. Each time that she asked, it was 3 times it was asked, and each time I said no. But each time much more was shown to me that I don't recall. But I don't. Oh, I'm tired. I am really wore out right now. I've had a long day already. I got a shot today too. I got a B12 shot. It was horrifying. But anyway, where was I at? So each time, and at one point, in this questioning. I don't know which time. At one point I look up, I had not realized that he was in the room with me, with us. But at one point I looked up and realized he was standing there, the tall one that was beside my bed. He was standing, I looked over to my right, and he was standing right there. Just standing in the side, off to the side, watching. I looked directly in his face, eye to eye. And I don't recall, but I remember, all I remember from him is neutral. I did not know if he was for me or against me. He was neutral. And, but he had but what he was dressed in, he had white hair all around from ear to ear. He was bald on top. He had, white, curly hair. His appearance, although he was different, he still had a beauty and wisdom and strength and power. He was like all of that. And I still don't understand. But and I didn't know if he was for me. But so at one point, I don't know when I looked up at him. But and then after the questioning, is this God, this God, this God? The last time I said no, I heard a voice, and I don't know where the voice came from. I heard a voice said, yes, just like that. It was a wicked voice. Yes, is what it said. And right after that, there I am in my bed. My dog's at the end of the bed. It's like, right after I heard yes, like that, the next thing I know, I'm back in bed. Not lying down. I'm acting as if I just got there. I'm like I'm just pulling the covers up, getting ready to lay down. My dog's at the end of the bed, looking for a place to get comfortable for the night. He's down there prancing around at the bottom of the bed like he's, looking for his place to sleep. I'm just getting in the bed, just laying down. And I look over at the clock, and there's been 1 hour has passed since the time that I first laid down to bed. So it was because of that, what happened when I found myself back in bed. That's how I knew that I had really been gone, because we had just got back in bed. It wasn't as if I just woke up and thought, what was that? I was just laying back down. That's, I probably laid there a couple minutes, and then I think not 5 minutes, maybe 2 minutes, because I was, registering it a little bit, and I thought, I got to write this down. I think I wanted to write it because I realized I was forgetting what had just happened. And I wanted to write it down. And so I got my little journal and started writing it down. As I was writing, I could not write fast enough. I was forgetting what I had seen. And now with the understanding I have today, then, like I said, I didn't know if he was neutral. And I thought, because, I didn't know if he was for me or against me. And, I still, where I am today with that, because a lot of people say, oh, that was Satan. I don't know who that was. And I won't say who that was but I know I will understand one day. And, maybe he was there watching over. Oh, and I didn't tell you the rest of what he had on. He had his cloak. He was dressed, his garment all the way down to the floor. It covered his arms. I think the only thing I could see of his body was from his neck up. And I think his hands was even covered. I don't know that I even saw his hands. I think that they was covered with his sleeve. But his gown, it covered his whole body. It was like a dark, I want to say like blackish, purplish, but there was color. There was color in it, and it seemed to me like it was made out of a strange material, because it seemed to look at it, it reminded me of a metallic, and with the colors, and how the best I can describe the colors and the darkness of it was like when you see oil on water, black oil on water, and the sun hits the oil on water on the ground, you see the prism, the color in it. And it's so hard to explain. It was, I thought it looked metallic. I thought, like maybe a thin metal gown. I don't know, but I thought maybe it was some polished silk. I don't know what fabric. It was like nothing you've ever saw. And the only time I've ever seen something of the sort. So, there's more that happened after I got up at night. I want to hear what a few of you brethren out there, brothers and sisters, might have to add, or insight to share with me, something that you might have experienced. Let me know what you think, and I will tell what happened after. There was even there's more after I got up. There was no way I was going back to sleep that night. So I got up and I had another experience, another thing that I saw when I was wide awake. No chance of sleeping, no chance of a dream. So let me know. I'm only sharing this to, I have to put it out. That's the only way to get understanding and to share. I'm curious to hear what you have to say. Much love to you. Father bless you. Oh, I don't know if this is going to add on to that, or I didn't get to tell you who I thought that I've recognized. I think that at first, when I first saw Anna's videos, I was thinking, was that the one that presented the cups? Because somehow I knew I would find these women that was with me there. But I wasn't sure. But when Sis Lively is who I believe presented the blue cups before me. And from the back is all I heard in the voice. I'm almost positive that Sis Shananiah was the one whose voice said these things are here for us. And I believe there was one more woman to the side that I never saw, just somehow know she was there. And then the woman on the couch with the long blonde hair and the ponytail, I haven't recognized her yet. I thought that I had at one time, but I don't. There's two that I believe I have recognized now. So, much love to you. Father bless. One more thing. Goodness. One last thing. This is the last thing. When I was being asked, is this God, is this God, is this God? I was questioning in myself why they're asking me. And I thought, are they looking, or are they, I didn't know, are they looking for God? Or are they seeing if I know God? Are they trying to find if I have answers? That went through my head. So, anyway, I guess it was some kind of testing. But anyway, let me know what you think. Bye for now.